So welcome everybody. Tēnā koutou katoa. Greetings to you all from Aotearoa, Waitaha, Christchurch, Canterbury, here in beautiful Aotearoa, New Zealand. If this is the very first time you have joined us, I am Sarita McLean, the Regional Rotary Public Image Coordinator, and it is really so lovely to see you all here today. We are joining together today from across Australia, New Zealand, the Pacific Islands, and as far away as Nigeria. And on behalf of all of us, I acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands on which each of us meet, live, learn, and work. I acknowledge and honor Indigenous cultures, traditions, country, iwi, and nation, and pay my respects as appropriate to elders and leaders, Kaumatua and Kuya, past, present, and emerging. As Rotarians, we share a unique passion for taking action to improve our communities and the world. Where others see problems, we see solutions. This is our chance to show others how Rotarians see what's possible in their communities and to highlight what we can achieve when more community leaders join Rotary. Assistant Rotary Public Image Coordinator, Rosalind Tini, will show you how our People of Action campaign will help you to do this. So not only does Rosalind look after districts 9970, 9820, and 9830 in her role as Assistant Rotary Public Image Coordinator, she's also the International Service Chair for our own district 9830. So just a little note about housekeeping. If you could just please, if you're able to put your name and district number on your profile and just mute yourselves, this will be appreciated. And if you have any questions coming through, type this in the chat box at the bottom of your Zoom screens, and we will actually answer this towards the end of Rose's presentation. And we will send a recording of this session to everyone who has registered. So this is why it's really important that you all register, so it's automatically sent out to you. Okay, well, so over to you, Ros.
Well, hello, everybody. I am going to begin our session with something that quite a few of us have prepared early. And so I'd like to thank everybody present who's been involved in the preparation of the People of Action stories today. So, Sarita, would you please start?
Yes.
Thank you.
Can you see all this?
Greetings everyone, and thank you for giving this hour of your time. Together, we'll explore the meaning of a phrase you've hopefully heard often, people of action. The intended outcome of this training is that you can help your Rotary colleagues to apply the Rotary People of Action strategies confidently as they tell stories about your club projects. My job today is to remind you how to present your club members as people of action, to help build awareness of Rotary and the impact we make. We'll be looking at how to tell a compelling People of Action story, how to create a powerful visual, and how we might use the public image materials Rotary provides on the Brand Centre to show how your club is taking action to make the world a better place. Please tell us in the chat where you're based and the project that is closest to your heart.
Like a number of you, I was there amongst the crowd of some 40,000 Rotarians from around the world when the People of Action campaign was launched at the Rotary International Convention in Atlanta in June 2017.
We need to ask, who is Rotary? We bring together leaders to identify the problems in our community. We tap into our professional skills, expertise, and networks to pinpoint solutions. Together, we roll up our sleeves and mobilize our communities to get the job done. And of course, in the process, we develop great relationships and long-lasting friends. Look around this room. Nowhere will you find more influential and accomplished assembly of women and men. There is no group with more commitment to the communities that we call home. There are no leaders with a sharper vision for how we can make a difference locally and globally around the world, and the know-how to make that vision a reality. Our clubs have nurtured and inspired generations of purpose-driven leaders. We are unparalleled in our ability to engage and build partnerships that support our efforts to create lasting good and to make a difference. This is the essence of who we've been for over a century. And that while Rotarians haven't changed, we can't ignore some emerging truths. The landscape around us is changing. We need to tell our story in a different way. Now, Paul Harris may have said it best, and I quote to you, "Whatever Rotary means to us, to the world it will be known by the results it achieves."
Possibilities are all around us. We see potential in unexpected places. And when we share our knowledge, vision, and connections, we turn great ideas into action in communities all around the world. Together, we can make real change happen. We're Rotary. We are people of action. Get involved at Rotary.org.
That's one of several professional video clips shared in the Brand Centre ads section. We'll come back to the Brand Centre videos later. At this stage, let's look at the Our Brand tab, which is a new section of the Brand Centre. I'd like to focus on the Brand Elements heading, and to drill down further, I ask you to consider what it says there about Rotary voice. I love the 4 words that the survey said best describe our Rotary people of action. Smart, compassionate, inspiring, and persevering. Those powerful descriptors set us up perfectly for the people of action storytellers who all inspire me with their Rotary leadership, motivation, and ways of working. But before we get into their stories, I'd like to welcome District Governor Heather from District 9830 and a leading brand and marketing specialist here in Hobart, Sam Cairnduff.
Whether we're talking local projects or fundraising, or the impactful global projects we do in eradicating malaria or end polio, Rotarians are people full of stories. Those stories enable us to talk about the work we do as people of action. And it's important when we talk about ourselves as people of action that everybody else understands we are professional, community-minded, and that we engage with the bigger world to do as much as we can to help it be a better place. It's important when you do that we make sure the branding is right, because it's very important that when we talk about the things we do, everybody understands that we are Rotary.
Well, I'm Sam Cairnduff. I'm Director of Marketing and Public Affairs at the Tasmanian Symphony Orchestra, and I'm really happy to be here today and to hear that Rotary is investing and looking at teaching and building capacity in the areas of marketing and branding. As Director of Marketing here at the TSO, marketing and branding are 2 things that are really, really important to me. And I know, travelling around and speaking to many Rotary clubs around the state, in Launceston and Burnie and here in Hobart, Rotary clubs that we've worked with and have supported us over the years, I know that marketing and branding is something that's really important to Rotary. A brand is so much more than just a logo or a brand mark. It's about who you are as an organisation, what you stand for, what you represent. And in a brand and marketing and communication, you have the opportunity to articulate that to the world and show the world what you stand for. And Rotary, as we know, stands for so many wonderful, wonderful things, great values, great contribution to community. So I'd urge you, if you're interested in taking this course, if you're interested in learning a little bit more, sign up. Learn about marketing and branding. It's a fantastic area. It's inspiring. It'll make you see things differently. It'll deepen your connection with your club. So please go ahead and look into it today, and we look forward to welcoming you to a concert here at the Tasmanian Symphony Orchestra's Federation Concert Hall sometime very soon. Thank you.
To be brand ambassadors, we need to know and live out the core values of Rotary. Rotary's vision, values and strategic plan should be clear to every member.
Together, we see a world where people unite to make lasting change across the globe, in our communities and in ourselves. Service, leadership, fellowship, integrity, diversity. Increase our impact, expand our reach, enhance participant engagement, increase our ability to adapt.
Rotary has earned a reputation of being trustworthy and reliable. When we talk about Rotary, our voice should be clear, persuasive and informed, but also personal and sincere. Rotarians can go to the My Rotary web portal to develop their understanding of any aspect of our organisation. Today, we're learning about people of action.
May I introduce Tim from the Rotary Club of Brighton, whose story highlights the value for his club of the My Rotary Learning Centre.
Well, basically, whenever I do something, I like to find out, what's involved and learn about it. So Rotary, even though I was aware of Rotary, I'd never been involved and didn't really have much knowledge about it. So whilst exploring the website and looking, I came across the Learning Centre, and then just through going through that, found courses that I think would be beneficial for anybody. Like there's courses for new members to give you, the background information about where Rotary's come from and where we're heading, through to courses on various different club positions. When I was the secretary, I completed the course on that, which gives you a little bit of a background as to what your role is going to be. And then when I moved into the treasurer role, I completed that training course as well to make sure I knew what was expected of me to do that role. What we've implemented for our new members is that once they're signed up, they receive an email that has a new member guide, and it actually has links to the Learning Centre and recommends training courses that all new members should look at. One of the courses that I did while going through the Learning Centre was about people of action and how to promote it, and we're talking about a worldwide organisation, and particularly like we see in Tasmania now that our communities are becoming more multicultural. I guess we're looking at ways to involve those people, not only in the community but in our clubs as well, because they all have something to offer.
Richard is a past assistant governor with wide experience of Rotary. He reminds us that a project starts with one person's idea and talks to us about the value of keeping a record of your Rotary service projects in the Rotary Showcase.
Being a member of Rotary allows you to develop friendships and acquaintances with like-minded people in the area. All I can say to any Rotarian is think about what you can do for Rotary rather than what Rotary can do for you. Think about what projects you can put forward and don't be afraid to speak, because no project is silly. Put forward your ideas and you never know, it might get off the ground. I think the most rewarding project I was involved with was the National Youth Science Forum, in that we selected and had a refugee from Rwanda who went to Rosny College, and we had sponsored a few people previous years, but he had been a refugee for half his life in Uganda, having left Rwanda, ended up in Australia, and of all the people I've been involved with Rotary youth projects, he was the one who really appreciated, I think, what he got out of it. It was really amazing to see how he developed. The Rotary Showcase is something Rotary International encourages club to do, is to list their projects and to store them in one central location on the Rotary International database. It may not be seen by many clubs as any particular reason to do it. I believe that with it, and like other databases, Rotary, either in the district or in the state or internationally, needs to be able to get a broad picture of what is being done by all Rotary clubs. So if we don't tell them, it's very hard for someone in the state or in the district to be able to say, well, Rotary has earned X amount of dollars, or they've spent X amount of dollars on good causes. It's all very well for a club to sit back and do all sorts of good things, but if you don't tell anyone about it, it's in a way wasting your time. And I think that's why it is a valuable resource. It's not incredibly complicated to do, and in an ideal world you would set it up as a plan at the beginning of the year and then complete the plan at the end of the year with your actual results. But you don't necessarily have to do that. You can always look back through your bulletins, as I do, see what we did, record it, and then it becomes a record of what your club has done.
Kate had been an exchange student, so from the moment she joined Rotary, she had a passion for volunteering in life-changing youth service. Her story about mentoring is one of challenge, adventure, teamwork and growth.
Hello, my name is Kate Horweg. I'm the treasurer with the Rotary Club of Huon Valley, and I am the voyage cook on the Windward Bound. We also do a program which is really great, looking at leadership challenge and create mentors, and just to see the changes in those kids is amazing. I'm not the voyage mother, but I am the first person people see with their little sleepy eyes and they have breakfast, and I help to basically keep everybody together by making sure they're happy, they have food, they have chocolate at midnight when they're on the watch and they need a muffin hit or something, just to try and make everybody happy. And they have really supported me an awful lot. I have managed to, with the help of my youth crew encouraging me, climb to the second platform so far. So I am terrified of heights, and that was a massive achievement. But I felt completely safe and well trained and in a very supportive environment, so that was really good. These programs could not run without the support of groups like Rotary, and I just think this is an invaluable program for Rotary to be involved in.
If success breeds success, it is equally true that people of action attract people of action. If your club is friendly, welcoming and open, you will enable caring people to be drawn to you. Please enjoy Arun's story of radical hospitality.
Hi, my name is Arun Chitrakar. I'm currently in the Rotary Club of North Hobart. My previous club was Rotary Club of Bhaktapur. I work as a public relation officer back in Rotary Club of Bhaktapur. We had a lot of projects, so especially we work for education, and we build a lot of schools in very remote area of the Nepal. I start googling the Rotary in Tasmania, and it just pop up with Rotary Club of North Hobart. And then immediately I wrote the text message to the Rotary Club of North Hobart, and immediately I got a call from Rosalind. The first day I joined the club, and I was so happy that in my table it was with my Nepalese flag. I was so surprised, and I just thank to Rosalind, she gave me the mentor, Julian, and he know Nepal and he know the people of Nepal, because he has spent a few times back in Nepal, and that makes me so easy, so comfortable, to introduce myself, and it's make me so close to to bring the connection from Rotary Club of Bhaktapur to Rotary Club of North Hobart. Thank you, Julian. Thank you, Rosalind, and thank you everyone in the Rotary Club of North Hobart.
Claudia has forged her own path in Rotary International in 2 different states through typical club projects, action groups, fellowships, friendship exchanges, and her deep appreciation of the work of the Rotary Foundation. Claudia has made provision for the Rotary Foundation in her will.
Many years ago, when I first joined Rotary, we had a bit of a windfall because we sold a property. We had some money, so I donated some money to Polio Plus and some money to the foundation in general, so they could do what they wanted. It is important because they have incredible causes that they support, and the money does actually go there. Being on loan with Rotary, for Rotary, enables me to see a lot more of all the work that is being done all over the world. This thing of all over the world is very important to me because I've always considered myself a citizen of the world. I may be very Swiss, born and bred, and still very Swiss at heart, loving my Swiss cheese. I'm a global citizen, and I like the idea of a worldwide organisation, non-political, non-religious, and that's why I was keen to join Rotary. The art show was actually the first thing that attracted me to the Rotary Club of Hobart, and I thought I might just, be able to help out there and pitch in. I went to the club. It was also convenient for me because they were meeting at lunchtime. I was still just a visitor when I said, I'll help out at the art show. So they got a bit of work out of me before I even joined. I love travelling. I love seeing places. I love meeting people. And I love nature. That's the main thing for me, nature. We did an exchange with Nova Scotia, and that was fun. That was much fun.
Danny came into Rotary as a young professional after a group exchange funded from the Rotary Foundation. He is an expert in community building, networking and events. This is just the start of a video about his club's response to the pandemic.
"2020, what a year. Who would have thought at the beginning of the year when bushfires were plaguing Australia that we would experience an iconic day of snow in Launceston, that businesses would have to adapt, that we would go into lockdown and education from home would become a thing. This has been an incredible year, and the Rotary Club of Tamar Sunrise wanted to take the opportunity to ensure that the year was never forgotten. So we've devised a program and an initiative called Launceston Community Reflections. The opportunity to take stock of those amazing memories, those amazing things that happened, both positive and negative, during 2020, and of course, aspirations and hopes for 2021.
Rotaractors bring fresh insights and energy to their community service. Please welcome Varu to talk about life as a Rotaractor.
I enjoy meeting new people and just working on different projects that I'm passionate about. I want to keep fueling that passion within me, so I joined Rotaract in Sri Lanka. After moving to Tasmania, I figured the best way to network, meet people, and keep working on that passion within me was to join Rotaract in Australia as well. There's so much fun, there's so much enthusiasm, so many people that are just awe-inspiring to me. Everyone has something different within them that they want to accomplish, and Rotaract gives you that platform to accomplish something for yourself and for society. You just have a beautiful support network around you, and it's a safe place where you can develop yourself, but also explore avenues of service for helping our society. If you have something that you're passionate about, or there's some cause in the world where you'd like to make a difference, start by joining a Rotaract club and then build on that momentum.
Rick has bucket loads of talent and charisma. Rick's heartfelt story is about how everyone belongs to the Rotary family.
Absolutely, just normal. It was fine. I was welcome. Dave was welcome. We were there as human beings, as Rotarians. It was a massive feeling of family. I remember a couple of years ago, I had a role in a musical theatre show of Strictly Ballroom, and I can remember walking onto the stage in character and hearing a crowd go wild. Pretty much the entire Rotary Club and their partners had come to support me. It was almost a bit off-putting, but actually, no, it was very, very close to being off-putting, where I nearly forgot what I was meant to be doing, but my heart was completely full. It was an amazing experience to know that I was being supported in that way. So Rotarians are people of action, but they're also people of compassion, and certainly in my experience, Rotarians have become family too. Thanks so much for allowing me to share my story, and I hope you enjoy your Rotary journey too.
Eric's Rotary service has seen him ride a postie bike with 2 Rotary mates all the way to Cairns to raise funds for men's health. Today he tells us about working with community partners and acknowledging those partners.
A few years back we rode postie bikes from Hobart to Cairns to raise awareness of men's health and raise money for men's health programs. Told the story either on the news or in newspapers or on the radio. There would have been at least 1 to 4 million people that heard the story that Rotary was on the road doing something good. The Rotary Club of Claremont are extremely proud of the project that we're standing next to, the Walker Remembrance Project in the Windermere Bay Playground at Shelters. The location here is as windy as anything, and when I'm down here with my grandkids, I was frustrated in the fact that I couldn't stand under a tree or anything else or behind some shelters. That's how the shelters became not just panels, but they also became a story and functional. The school come down here every year and take the kids up the Walker Remembrance and to the panels, and they have a story to tell. They can bring their parents, or their parents can bring them, their grandparents. There's a story that no longer dies. There's a history that is living to everybody and each generation that comes on right through. If people have never put in for a grant, it's a learning curve. Projects don't just happen, they take a lot of work. Don't ever feel that you can't develop a project. All you've got to do is find the people, have the passion and do the work. Finalising the overall work is making sure that it actually gets publicised. When we finalised this project, we had the Mayor do the opening, we had council who were involved, the RSL, the Claremont College, everybody else that was involved, our Rotary Club, and on top of that, of course, media, the newspapers, everybody else were invited out. It was a gala event, you might say. However, that's what it should be too. It should be a celebration of the projects of Rotary.
Marion is famous in our district for her ability to pull together a fabulous team. This People of Action story is about Rotary saving lives. And as Marion tells it, you'll see the structure of a People of Action story alongside.
In 2005, some Rotarians in our district were very concerned by the high proportion of young people who died on our roads. They came up with the Rotary Youth Driver Awareness Program aimed at Year 10 students. The program is written by road safety education experts in New South Wales. Since 2006, the rider program has been rolled out to the whole of the state of Tasmania. We give the opportunity to every Year 10 student to come and do the rider program. And now there are 60 schools involved throughout Tasmania and about 5,000 students in Year 10. The state government has seen the benefit and fully funds the program. And not only that, but students who come have 5 points added to their graduated licence as recognition of what they learn. This program would not be affordable without the contribution of many volunteer Rotarians. Come and join us. Everyone's got something to offer. We work together as a team and we utilise the individual skills of our volunteers. You can do as much or as little as you like. Come along and join our People of Action.
Do you know who said this? In the end, if we can elevate awareness and attract and engage new members and partners, our good work will spread, and doing good in the world will not only remain our organisational compass, but it will help us soar to new heights. It was Rotary International President-elect Jennifer Jones on a Rotary blog back in 2013.
I can't promise that your club will soar to new heights the first time you use the People of Action strategies, but I encourage you to take heart from Mark Twain's words to the wise. Continuous improvement is better than delayed perfection.
Take a moment now to note down in the chat one story from your club or district that you have told recently or that you think deserves telling. Where could I read all about it? What project would you like to see your local TV news crew covering? Don't limit your thinking by considering the skills or contacts required. Just put down your public image dream for the rest of this Rotary year or for the new Rotary year. As you reflect on why you are here participating in this session today, is there a thought about the term People of Action to describe Rotary volunteers that comes to you? If so, please feel free to share it in the chat.
Tell the story of any project 3 times. Promote it before the event, tweet or post about it live while it's happening, then share the impact with your followers afterwards. When we talk about Rotary's impact, we are referring to the positive long-term change that results from our action. And we want people around the world to know about it. Sharing the impact of our projects promotes our good work.
In sharing People of Action stories, it is vital to use powerful images, either through still photographs or video clips, to fire up the emotions of our audience and inspire them to react. A good picture captures our attention and starts to tell the story before we even glance at the words. You want likes, shares and comments when people see your posts, and you won't get these responses unless you have helped your audience to feel part of the story. Compliant logos in the background of photographs on teardrop banners, pull-up banners, marquees or other items in the shot really assist viewers to see that we're representing Rotary. Last December, Rotary Down Under ran a feature on photography and paid respect to club and district photographers. Putting that feature together, I realised that even our volunteers who have the most skill and experience in the art of photography aren't always aware that Rotary has photography policies we need to comply with. So please do your part to spread the word by visiting and talking about the Images and Video section of the Brand Centre. You'll notice that the People of Action resources on the Brand Centre include a template for adding People of Action identifiers to your own photos. Let me just demonstrate that briefly. If you've had a go at this before the Brand Centre update in February this year, you'll see it's now much faster and more intuitive than it was before. Have the photo handy and go to the People of Action tab. Then select Templates and we'll choose Facebook Post. Once the Chili editor loads, look up to the Edit Content frame, which is top left. The first drop-down menu is the various verbs that are our options after the words Together We. We'll leave ours as Connect today, but you can see there are others. Now go down to Image Source, and we'll need to change from the default Rotary Images to upload your own. Then remember where you stored your photo and select it from that location on your computer. Once it loads into the editor, click on that little blue picture icon and see what it looks like with the People of Action treatment. After that, you just need to select JPEG or PNG file and then download. Before you leave the editor, make sure you can see the downloaded file on your computer. There is a bit of an art to selecting a photo with a composition that allows the text to be legible, so give yourself time to try a few. Another strategy to share with your social media people is to add a People of Action hashtag to some of your service posts. What next? What communication channels can you use to share your story with members, potential members, donors and partners? Please put your ideas into the chat. The Brand Centre lists lots of options. You'll find them in the People of Action tab, then click on Promote Your Story. Remember too that there are press release and brochure templates in the Brand Centre's Materials section. I'd like to acknowledge some publications and programs which have included Rotary stories from our district recently. Magazines like Rotary Down Under are wonderful for telling our stories to each other. But to engage the wider public, we are grateful for the support of radio, television news, newspapers, local newsletters such as politicians' notice boards, and cross-fertilisation with other community groups through networking events, awards ceremonies, and joint working parties and celebrations. At this time of the year, new Rotary leaders are putting together their budgets for the coming year and organising their teams. Those of you who are incoming district governors may like to use one of the professionally prepared People of Action ads on the Brand Centre. Here is one which already has an Australian accent voiceover.
Our connections make powerful things happen, uniting individuals and communities. We are Rotary. We are People of Action. With over 1 million members, we know what people can do when they come together. Around the world, generations of leaders build new friendships and solve problems, turning great ideas into reality. Take action with us. Find out more at rotary.org.
Rotary is founded on people, relationships and actions. We bring our personal passions, our professional backgrounds, our diverse perspectives and our global connections to change the world for better with our Rotary service. Thanks for logging on today, and we hope you've drawn something from this story to apply to your own Rotary clubs and projects.
So let me summarise. People of Action stories capture and reflect the essence of who we are. They are a way of talking about ourselves so that people outside Rotary better understand what connects us as committed volunteers who channel our skills and expertise into taking action to solve problems in our communities and around the world. And for the last word, here is past Rotary International Director John Smarge again.
People of Action focuses on who Rotarians are because that is who we are, people of action who get things done. Leaders who work together in communities to inspire, to connect, and celebrate what's possible. And men and women who have a great time working together, growing, and learning together.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? We're back to live session again now. Well, I thank you very much indeed. I hope you enjoyed the prepared part of the presentation. And let's see what your questions are in terms of following up to make it personally more relevant to you. Does anybody have a question? Well,
Roz, maybe you can just, for those who didn't see the chat, where do you find that People of Action video with the Aussie accent?
Yes, that is in the Brand Centre. There's a section in the Brand Centre called Images and Video, or it could be Video and Images. but that's where it will be. And also, when I send the notes out after today, I'll send you the specific link with the exact name of that video, because there are many videos in the brand centre and we haven't got time to look at all the irrelevant ones. So, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to the people who are sending me messages. Eleazar Ikbekpu, thank you very much to you, Nigeria. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
What did you find interesting, Elliot?
Yeah, I'm so excited because you know, public image is so interesting, because in Africa, in Nigeria, we need to create more awareness for Rotary, and then to make sure that people know what Rotary is all about. So I think this is an interesting thing for us to use what we have, you know, with our computer and the internet, to showcase what the best Rotary can offer for the masses and the people. So it's a very interesting presentation. I love that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I have a question here from Bryce. I haven't had a chance to read it all yet, Bryce. What you're doing is simply summarising your favourite projects, are you? Bryce, would you like to tell us what you put in your question? Okay. Bryce
Ros,
was
maybe a question from me.
Yes.
Is why should we be using the People of Action campaign, and what projects, or like what parts should we be using versus when shouldn't we be using it?
Very, very good. Okay. Well, I referred to the People of Action strategies when I was speaking. To make it easier for you to think, I summarised the free People of Action strategies as five. Can anybody throw in what they think I've been referring to when I said the People of Action strategies? You can just speak. Okay. Or you can write in the chat if you prefer. Are there anybody who wants to share any of those ideas? All right, then, well, I'll run through them. Jeremy, I just see your mention there. We'll come back to partnerships later, but the Rotary People of Action strategies for free communication of Rotary's image, photography rules, the storytelling strategies, the suggestion to use hashtags on social media, the guidance that we should always document our projects and tell our stories on the Rotary Showcase, in my Rotary. My Rotary for us as public image leaders is not all about the brand centre. And I tried to make that point through the people who told their stories. It is equally about the Learning Centre, and it is equally about the Rotary Showcase. And it's really, really important that you go on to the Rotary Showcase and just have a look. If you're a president now, have a look at what has been written there about your club in the past. You just do a search on Smithton or Pakenham or whatever it might be. A lot of people put their projects up by their club's name only, and they don't include their district. So if you look up your district and you don't find anything, that's not a big deal. Just try to look up a few clubs. Right, now, coming back to the photography rules. I didn't absolutely deep dive into photography because I think it's worthwhile having a whole hour on photography just by itself. But is anybody aware of the photography rules for Rotary, for people of action photographs?
Maybe that's something we can send out to everyone, because I feel like that's a very essential one.
Yeah. So we did put them all in the article. Oh, well, maybe I didn't spell it out as a rule, but in the December Rotary Down Under, that feature has a lot of hints on help. Page 5 of that feature lists all guidelines and also lists some tips that I came up with for people of action directors, for public image directors to work with the photographers. For myself, I think it's too much to ask the photographers to learn all the rules. I think it's better for the public image people to master the rules and curate the photography that is coming into your club, because you have to be aware. The guidelines include things like, don't put a single picture up on your page of a Rotarian by themselves. That implies loneliness. That implies not being accepted. And the idea of the People of Action strategy is to show primarily Rotarians working together and gaining satisfaction and a sense of belonging. So you really need to have photographs of 3 or 4 people facing the camera that are of real, genuine interaction. That doesn't mean to say that the photographer can't interrupt the proceedings and say, could you do that again, please, so I can get a better shot? Or could you please move away if you're gate crashing the photograph? But yeah, it's very important that you follow the photography.
Ros,
yes.
Just on that, I just think if we are to make an emotional connection with the people reading our message, it's really important that the pictures include someone that we're helping, and preferably someone who we are quoting in whatever we put out. That with the beneficiaries are front and centre, not just a bunch of Rotarians standing around whatever they're doing, but that there is somebody there that we can quote saying, these people were really wonderful, this helped us terrific. It's that emotional connection that we've got to get. True it is, we've got to show that there's a bunch of people working together. That's a terrific thing. But yeah, to focus more on the people we're helping in the message and indeed in the photo or the video will make that emotional connection. That's all.
Very good. Is that you speaking, Bryce?
Yes, sorry.
Right. Okay. Well,
if I may say something, Ros. So that's great, but we also have got to make sure that we don't forget about the privacy of the person, and their dignity is always paramount, because it's quite hard to be able to take those photographs. We know what we want to take, but just to be able to show somebody, it's quite hard to do that. So if you are able to find those shots, those action shots, that would be wonderful. But just bear in mind the dignity of the person that you are helping as well. So we don't want to, diminish their dignity at all.
That's right.
Thanks, Sarita. It just seems to me that if you're going to quote somebody, you'll need to check whatever it is that they're going to say, and that's the time you say, can we share this photo? And if you can show them the photo, then you can do that. But absolutely, their privacy must be respected. You should be talking to them about, well, whether they're prepared to have their words recorded as part of what we're posting or putting out. Yep.
Yeah, definitely no good.
Yeah, so certainly there's a lot of negotiation that goes on. Every time you have anybody's image used, such as in what I just showed you, all of those people have kindly given permission for us to show their happy smiling face. So that's great. Now, when I follow up on Bryce's point about you need to have an emotional connection. If you use the brand centers template for adding the verb phrases or the verbs after the together we, then you get a much better chance of getting engagement and response from social media photographs within fractions of a second. They clarify what's going on, and the words that are in the machine there, the template system, are all vetted by Rotary. They're not copyrighted words. They're free to use, and they are uplifting words all over the world. So it's really important that you do try to have a go at that template. And as I said in the film, sometimes you might need to practice, because it is a template and it does things one way. You can't move it around. Andy might have extra canvas skills than I have, but when I use that template, I simply put in a photograph, make sure that the together we is just under the halfway line, just under the main part of the photograph, and then make sure it's visible, that the words are legible, because it's sending a message that's simple, it's repetitive. If we repeat those actions that stand for Rotary all over the world, it's really on brand, and it's helping every club in the world to get their message through. Anybody else have any challenge or any comment?
I think there's a couple of questions just in the chat. One about scope to have the professional videos from RI with American accents have an Australian voiceover.
Yes.
So that's we've heard about that a bit.
Yep. That is definitely allowable. Every video that is in the brand center is separately available without voiceover, and the script is there. And Rotary encourages people to go in and talk to their radio stations and try to get local people whose voices will be known and respected and trusted to record the words. Obviously, you want to have a person who can speak fluently, but you don't have to worry about the pace, because a video editor will be able to stretch or condense your pace to fit the number of seconds. Yes, thank you for mentioning that. Now, do people realise that originally the People of Action campaign was all about paid advertising? It was all about, that's why there are so many magazine ads and outdoor hoarding ads. And I saw, when in the beginning, there were clubs and districts getting together, spending huge amounts of money on paid advertising in their districts. There was a Kansas example, I think, that had $72,000 budget. So that's why we have to really master the 5 free techniques. You're putting the photos through the template so that the verb is added, the action is actually written onto the photograph, and also you need to match how you're presenting your photographs on your social media with your introductions. Not long wordy essays, but just a couple of sentences with a couple of hashtags that are just repeating and repeating the important messages for Rotary. Is everybody familiar with the storytelling strategy that was there alongside Marion's story? There are always, you need to finish always with a call to action. I know that Una found, past District Governor Una, who is chair of Food Plant Solutions, has a person on her committee who believes that you don't need a call to action. Rotary branding and marketing staff insist there must be a clear call to action, because otherwise you're going to waste your interaction. If people don't know what you want them to do next, then they won't be able to act on it. So make sure always to have very clear calls to action when you're telling a Rotary story. So these storytelling strategies are particularly for written stories where you are trying to engender interest in your project. So when we talk about the showcase, has anybody had experience beside Lindisfarne Club and North Hobart Club? Anybody else have experience of using the showcase? I'm pretty sure Sandy Bay has. Anybody got anything they wish to share about the showcase? What about you, Merwin?
No, I haven't really used Showcase, but the gentleman who was speaking about that mentioned that it would be good to have the planning stages in there as well for your projects. This probably wouldn't be accessible to everybody, but when you put your goals in the goal setting part of My Rotary for your club, you can, when you put in your service project goals, you can actually put all your planning stages in there, so it can be recorded that way for passing on within your own club.
Yes, and if anybody here is a current president or an incoming president, you can access the previous projects of your club in Rotary Club Central, in the Goal Centre, and then you only have to click one button and that exports all of that typing onto the showcase, the Rotary Showcase.
Oh, okay.
So it's very important. Once you've exported it, then you can do more with it in the brand centre. But it is a good idea to do it all in your goal centre first before exporting it, and then you just tart it up on the showcase and add more photographs, videos, links, whatever you want to put there. But the example that was in the film from Lindisfarne Club about Tommy Choo Choo, I don't know whether anybody noticed, but just down the bottom it said how many hours, how many Rotarians were involved, and what was the income from what was the financial benefit from that particular project. And it's very, very good to see the clubs that are putting in that detail, because that's the sort of detail that feeds through to the Rotary International president being able to say at the convention how many service hours were given by Rotarians in the previous year. It's really important to try and estimate those. Anybody else? One thing I missed, I just didn't capture it quickly enough in the film, was when I asked people what are the channels for promoting your Rotary stories. And that is in the brand centre, the Promote Rotary link is under Our Brand. This Our Brand has only been there since February. There was a big change on the brand centre in February. So really good to check and have a look. Things may have moved, some pages are smaller. Some documents that used to be there aren't there anymore. But all of the information is still the same. I'm absolutely assured that if you are following previous documents that you've downloaded, there's no change in policy. Any other questions about the strategies? So have you written them down, the 5 free strategies, the verbs on the photos, the template, what I call the people of action treatment, the photography rules, the storytelling strategy, the hashtags, and the showcase. Now, when we come back to the photography rules, I mentioned a couple of examples, and we really need to work on this a lot more. But please, no big checks. Please, no big checks. It really gives the wrong impression of Rotary. We are not the Bank of Rotary. We are a service organisation. We want to own the project. We want to be proud of that. We want people to recognise the Rotary part of it. If we give the money away, it just becomes subsumed into another organisation's achievements, and it just, if we publish pictures of big checks, it just encourages people to come and ask for money from us. So it's not encouraged. You'd be surprised also, you're not supposed to have photographs of people's backs in People of Action photographs. So you can all read the policy. It's clearly written there, but yes, quite interesting. Takes a while to have a look at. Promoting Rotary, speaking engagements, partnerships. Now, somebody from Cambridge, and I'm sorry I don't know your name, sir, but there was a man, was it Jeremy? Jeremy, are you still here?
Yes, I'm still here, Ros.
Would you please like to state your question again, or your comment rather?
My comment was that only one speaker spoke about the need for the elected members of whether they're Parliament or the local council or anyone else to be involved, and for the club to always be represented at any public event. Now, some years ago, when I first became involved and I first became president of my club, I decided that whatever we did had to be visible. And I mean, Rotary had to be really visible. And so I've always done that. And now to the extent where I'm invited to speak at school assemblies, I'm invited to speak at citizenship ceremonies, and any sort of public event where they need somebody to speak, I'll always put my hand up to be there. And I believe that all of this thing that we've been talking about this morning is all great stuff and needs to be there, but we need to also come at this from the top down, and we need to be engaging with the politicians and the local officials in order for us to really get the message of Rotary out there, because it's all very well, we have all this information, and the only people who look at it are other Rotarians. So we need to be absolutely sure that the stuff gets in the media, whether it's radio or newspapers, local newspapers, and that's what we try to do. So and it bears fruit.
That's very good. Actually, there are some key times of the year when Rotary really needs to be in the media. And they would be that if you are enjoying good relationships with the media and thanking them for publicity that they give you, I'm sure that you can be hopeful that, for example, on World Polio Day or RAM Special Day, when is it, Jenny? 30th of April, isn't it?
Correct, I'm not sure, but last year we had World Freedom Day, at which there were peace poles put up in a number of places.
World Peace Day is the 12th of September.
12th of September, correct. And then we need to be laying wreaths, things like that at Anzac Day. We just need to be there.
Yes.
I know it takes time, it takes effort, and we mustn't shy away from being seen publicly. It's.
And when you are there, as Smithton Rotary Club is, as Lindisfarne Rotary Club is, as many of the people who are on this call, then you often get third-party endorsements, Facebook posts, which are very, very powerful. We don't have anybody from the Tasman Peninsula Club, but their club works constantly with the local school, and it's often you will see the school thanking the clubs. They're all the same. In Marion's project that she has been presenting about today, the Rotary Youth Driver Awareness, throughout all of those weeks that Rotary Youth Driver Awareness is on, you see many, many schools expressing their gratitude and summarising the experience that the students have had. And that's powerful for Rotary, that we're not pushing our own barrow, but that we have been appreciated. Somebody mentioned about the beneficiaries. And as Sarita said about beneficiary photographs, that we need to have permission, and you particularly need permission of anybody under 18. So it's very, very important that you have a good relationship with the school principal to enable access to schools. Okay, so we have a lot of, in Australia, there are structures for politicians to engage with Rotarians. I think there are a number of people on this call who were probably at the Parliamentary Fellowship of Rotarians. You don't have to be in Rotary to be in the Parliamentary Fellowship of Rotarians. But that, because we've just had the centenary, there's been a lot of interaction with politicians, and that's all been documented. So yes, Jeremy's comment about too much talking to each other and not enough talking to the outside community, we just have to try. You can lose heart pretty easily when you submit articles to newspapers and they're not published, but there's usually a reason, and try not to lose heart. Just keep trying and keep looking for opportunities. No one has mentioned networking, but I'm a great believer in ladies who lunch and getting out. Even though I love Rotary and Rotary is my life, very large part of my life, I'm always looking to meet people who are not in Rotary and let them ask me about Rotary too.
Ros, if I may just add to what I said, if you're going to interact with the media, it's all very well to send an article to the paper, and then it's just easy for them, if they don't know you, to just throw it out. But if you write the article for them completely and get to know the journalist or whoever's in charge of that particular piece of the local paper or whatever it is, and it's all to do with personal relationships. You have to work on building those.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you very much. Sarita, I apologise that I haven't kept an eye on the time.
That's all right. It's lovely. So thank you so much. So we can spend a lot more time talking about this, but we will have to draw to a close now. So I do encourage you to share the information that you have gathered today with your clubs. Ask those difficult questions. If you need assistance in this public image space, the Zone Public Image team is available. Our details are on the Rotary Zone 8 website, and also on Rotary Oceania website, and you will also find us the details on Rotary on the Move if you are subscribed to it. So where to next? We take a break in April with Easter and Anzac Day weekends, but we will have 2 bonus sessions in May. 1st of May, when Assistant Rotary Public Image Coordinator Barry Entis talks about mobile ambassadors, the traveling Rotarians, and on Sunday, the 29th of May, we share how we can tell Rotary's story to a broader community. I will send out the registration link, and when I send out the recording from today's session, and you will hopefully see the information about the May sessions on both the website, Rotary Zone 8, as well as Rotary Oceania, Facebook pages, which is, Rotary Australia, Rotary Oceania, including my own, which is Rita McLean, the Rotarian, and in Rotary on the Move. And please do tell us if there are other topics that you'd like us to talk about and teach, to let you know. Some of those have come through in the chat, so we will actually take that on board and deliver things that you really want to know about. So thank you for your time, for giving up all of your time on a Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we will be here for another 15 minutes, but I will end the recording on the count of 3. So 3, 2, 1. End of recording, but you're welcome to stay behind and chat for us for a little bit longer if you wish.
Thanks so much, Sarita.